21-year-old Jennifer Wix and her 2-year-old daughter Adriana went missing on March 25, 2004. They were last seen in Cross Plains, Tennessee between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Initially, Jennifer's boyfriend Joey Benton said that Jennifer left home with Adriana and an unknown person. However, he later changed his story and informed the police that he had an argument with Jennifer and dropped them off at an Exxon gas station near exit 112 on Interstate 65. According to Joey, he saw Jennifer and Adriana getting into a white mid-sized car and drive away. He also claimed that Jennifer returned home alone the following day to collect her income tax return but then left without taking the money. It's important to note that neither Jennifer nor Adriana had any personal belongings, clothes, or money with them when they disappeared.
If you've ever had a child that doesn't get off the school bus like you expected them to or hides under the clothing rack at Target, that minute of panic that you have, just that moment of panic, this has been 19 years of that moment of panic.
David Carter was last seen alive at his son DJ's football game in Melvindale, Michigan on September 28, 2018. 2 days after the game, DJ received texts from David's phone canceling plans they had made together, claiming that he was sick. DJ went to his dad's apartment to check on him. He saw his father's girlfriend, Tamara Williams, taking the trash outside, but when she noticed him, she quickly ran inside and locked the door. She eventually let DJ inside, but refused him access to the bedroom or bathroom, informing him that David had gone for a walk despite being sick. On October 2nd, David's sister, brother-in-law, and father went to his apartment to check on him since he hadn't been to work in several days. They found blood-stained sheets on the bed and what appeared to be bullet holes, so they called the police. The following day, a road crew found a sleeping bag containing a partial human torso along Interstate 75, which was later confirmed to be David's. In the following days, David's dismembered head was found elsewhere along the same highway as well as his upper torso. He died from a gunshot wound to the head. Tamara hasn't been seen since 2018 and is considered the primary suspect in David's murder. On September 16, 2016, Todd Kendhammer called 911 to report a car accident near La Crosse, Wisconsin, claiming that a pipe had flown off a truck and struck his wife, Barbara. Despite being rushed to the hospital, Barbara passed away the following day. Autopsy results revealed that her cause of death was blunt force injuries to the head and neck, which were inconsistent with Todd's explanation of the accident. Todd initially told the police that he and Barbara were going to pick up a windshield for a truck, but an investigation revealed that no such transaction had taken place. La Crosse County District Attorney Tim Grunke suspected that Todd had killed Barbara and staged the accident. Todd was arrested 3 months later and went to trial a year after. During the trial, the cause of Barbara's injuries and the credibility of the windshield as evidence were fiercely debated. The prosecution couldn't establish a motive or an actual cause of death, and there was no evidence of infidelity, domestic violence, or financial trouble. Todd testified in his defense but struggled with inconsistencies in his accounts. The jury found Todd guilty and sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. 21-year-old Shari Miller was working as a waitress at the Meat Market Bar in Los Angeles, California when she met a man named William Bradford. He told Shari he was a professional photographer and offered to help her build a modeling portfolio. Shari was living in her car at the time and jumped at the opportunity. On July 4, 1984, she accompanied William to a remote campsite north of Los Angeles where he strangled her to death. Once Shari was dead, William cut off her tattoos and took off her blouse. He then drove her body to Hollywood and left it in an alley next to a parking lot. When Shari's body was found, it could not be identified and she was called Jane Doe number 60. A week later, William did the same thing to teenager Tracy Campbell. He left Tracy's body at the campsite and covered her face with Shari's blouse. Police investigating the crimes went to William's apartment when they learned he was the last person to see Tracy alive. They found photographs of Shari and Tracy as well as 54 other unidentified women. William Bradford was arrested, charged, tried, and convicted of both murders in 1988 and sentenced to death. He was only ever convicted of 2 murders, but he may have murdered more than 28 women. He died of natural causes in prison in 2008. 48-year-old Heather Barnett was found dead in her upstairs bathroom by her children when they came home from school on November 12, 2002 in England's Richmond Park. She had been bludgeoned to death with a hammer, her breast had been cut off and laid beside her head, and strands of someone else's hair had been placed in her right hand. Authorities suspected that Heather was attacked shortly after returning home from dropping her children off at school. The night after she was murdered, police questioned the man who lived across the street from her, Italian national Danilo Restivo, but let him go. However, he became a person of interest again in 2003 and was placed under surveillance in 2004. In 2008, new DNA testing techniques revealed a blood-stained towel left at the murder scene matched Restivo, and he was charged with Heather's murder. At the same time, an Italian court had charged Danilo with killing a teenager named Alyssa Claps in 1993. He was convicted of killing Heather Barnett in 2011 and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 40 years. He was also convicted of murdering Elisa in absentia in an Italian court and sentenced to 30 years in prison.